What's up, everybody? Victor, aka KidMachinate here. It has been a long time or a long time since. I'm already not saying what I want to say, clearly. It's been a long time since I've put anything on this channel at any capacity about any topic or really much of anything. And that was me avoiding a potential accident because my kitten decided to get extra playful, and that could have been a really bad time for my Nintendo Switch. But I'm just going to roll with it because this is kind of an on-the-fly video anyway. For some reason, I don't end up streaming on twitch.tv/KidMachinate. Feel free to follow me. On Wednesday, with Curse of the Moon 2, you'll know why. But it should be fine. I saved it. Could have failed. Would have been bad. Anyway, so I have a kitten named Tara on that note, because I guess it really has been a long time since I put anything of any capacity. I have no script, but really, who am I kidding? I never have a script. I also don't remember what my glyph code is for this, so I'm going to put this in real quick. I've been doing it a bunch to get gems for a playthrough I have going on Twitch currently, because I'm trying to do the end-all, be-all playthrough of Bloodborne, which is a new game plus 6, or playthrough 7 in total. I currently have Lawrence and Cos left to do, so the hard stuff. I might do some Chalice Dungeons as well, because I haven't streamed a lot of Chalice Dungeon on my channel since actually doing them way back when to get the trophy for the game. So we're using a glyph code to farm this particular dungeon to get better gems, and I know this is something I'm going to get bitched at for on stream, but turns out the best gems in the game are indeed cursed gems. You farm them until you get ones that have a negative effect that you're willing to deal with or isn't as bad, but that's pretty much where it's at. So we're farming this dungeon over and over, offline in between streams, with the knowledge. I'll probably actually do this this particular chalice on stream. This chalice actually is one I've done before, but it's a cursed version, so you instantly have half the health, which, even though bosses don't scale, or chalice dungeons rather, don't scale with playthroughs, because you only have the half health and things, there's a lot of things that can still pretty much one-shot you in here, it will still be relatively difficult. So, if that's the thing you're interested in, probably leave the link below, in addition to having announced it earlier. But where am I going with this, really? It has been a really long time since uploading anything on here that hasn't just been uploads from my Twitch channel, which 6 follows away from 200, which isn't like this huge number, but for someone small like myself, it's been awesome, especially during times of COVID, where no matter what game I'm playing, because I am a variety caster of sorts, no matter which game I've been playing, to experience whichever game of choice with whichever people of choice. And I suppose of choice doesn't apply there, right? Because you don't always know who's going to come around, especially if you don't know them. Probably better you don't for the sake of growth. But I definitely have a lot of people I do know that have also been fortunate enough, I've been fortunate enough for them to follow along for the ride. And even online company is still a form of company, so that is good. A big theme lately, and that's, I suppose, why I'm turning this on for footage versus other things I could be doing. Putting on something new, looking back as I do this, would probably be better, but we're not doing that. a big theme as of lately has been intent. Doing things with a purpose. When my father was still around, he would say to read with a purpose. Which basically means, yeah, you're reading it, but are you taking anything from it? Are you getting the main message, right? And you might have to read it several times, but if it's something that resonates with you, you're probably going to look at this thing several times or read it several times in order to get the value you want to get from it. And or possibly because you actually enjoy exactly what it is you're doing. So, hence why I'm on playthrough 7 of Bloodborne. Of all the Souls-likes, this is where I started, and it's still my favorite to this day. This isn't just FromSoft stuff, it's other things that have been considered Souls-like, whether it be 2D, 3D, whatever. This is still on top for me. This is still my original playthrough from way back when. I'm currently, obviously, I'm going to be streaming the 7th, the final playthrough. But I've also I've started new files as well. So, like, I want to say in total it's been at approximately 10 or 11 times I've played this game. Because I do genuinely enjoy it that much. It's hard to believe, when you think about it, that this game is 5 years old. It's kind of nuts. But it is. Still enjoy it like it's day one. There's still things I see from time to time, even having played it all, that kind of surprise me. And weapons I haven't tried, stats I haven't raised, you know, the whole 9 yards. There's always something new, including actually dying to these guys because it feels bad, man. Not that it takes a lot of hits to die from them, but the last few times I did this, that didn't happen. There's just a whole lot going on in this particular video that I didn't necessarily plan for, but that's okay because we don't have a plan. We don't have a script. But doing things with intent, right? So Bloodborne's definitely been up there for that, to the point where my best friend contributed to a super late due to COVID, but also due to error on my part. I have actually a Bloodborne ring with a lot of the clan symbols / claw mark runes, or I think one of the runes is called claw mark. The runes / clan symbols of sorts throughout the ring, which is pretty neat. And that's super random, but also has to do with Bloodborne. I also know I'm going to beat these guys soon, so my rough plan was to, go through as much as I possibly can think of that resonates with me at the current time, for as much time as it takes me to kill these bosses. So maybe it's a good thing that I actually died at least once. Part of this, too, with Bloodborne or any Souls-like, which tends to be anything that's remotely challenging, whether it be a Souls-like or even just even an older retro game of sorts that you don't necessarily know if you can beat it anymore in your later years, because you get progressively worse at games as you age. Some of us do, anyway. Some people get better somehow. Can't really explain to you how these things work. Sometimes you're not as good as you were as a kid. Whereas some other things you might actually be better. I find that being the less likely option, but it can happen. But you never know till you try, right? So it's things that challenge you. Speaking of things that challenge me, and this, I guess it depends on what you technically play it on. It could be a means of gaming or just a hobby. I've recently, years ago, I used to play, fun fact that I don't think I've ever revealed on this channel, I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Back in the original trading card game days. And I played to a certain point, got out of it. The same friend that I already referenced, you know who you are, never really got out of it. So I've recently been getting back into it and entering a couple tournaments, which, considering how long I've been out of the game, Doing surprisingly well to whatever standards I guess I'm going to hold myself to, because I don't really know what those are really, so maybe I shouldn't have even said that. But it challenges the mind. It keeps you active, it keeps you busy, it keeps you not stagnant. And at a time like this, where I really shouldn't be backing in the corner, at a time like this, where a lot of us have more time than we should, for one given reason or another, what better thing to do, really? So, it's been the streams and the live interactivity with people. It's been games like this. It's been getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh! For the sake of the challenge, and trying to outplay people and getting your mind to work actively. Going back to a retro game like Castlevania 3 and being happy that you can still do it versus not do it, and know that that skill has not diminished, while also being sad and crying in a corner at the games that you legitimately can't play anymore because you've gotten worse. But you never know till you try. And it's hard to have hope in times like this, but it's at that point that you're really going to start asking yourself, what truly matters? Focus on that, and that in itself might give you new inspiration to try new things. And I suppose, just based on what I've potentially talked about on here or at any capacity period, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is probably the newest thing for that. And it might not be the most serious thing in the world, but I do legitimately think that a lot of things that apply to gaming, children's card games, or anything of the like, a poor mindset most of the time really all the time, will get you not much of anywhere, whereas a more positive mindset will set you up for things beyond what you may think is possible. So, call this an inspirational video, if you will, if it could even be considered that, because it's mostly me just rambling. I just killed those guys. I'm probably going to do this a whole bunch of times. I've got upcoming streams to look forward to in the personal life. I do have some uncertainty due to COVID-19, but I think a lot of us do in one way or another. So all I can really say is a common theme throughout a lot of these games is stay strong. You're never alone. If you're lonely, reach out. I will listen. And game on, power through. And I don't really know what's next for this channel, because it's on here, and all these things are relevant and tie into one another outside of the message of sorts. So what comes next? I don't know. But I want to get something out that wasn't just like robotic stuff off of Twitch. There'll still be a lot of that on here, but I might actually get rid of some stuff because it's already on Twitch. There's no point to necessarily having it here. Plus, it doesn't have much of views. And to kind of just talk about, I guess, what's going on at the time being and see how it shapes any potential future content. So, stay safe all. Have yourself a good night. And try not to have your life turn into, if this fire ever actually did what it's supposed to do. Try not to have your life looking like this. Because in times like this, it's very easy. But hopefully, you get the right people in your corner and the right inspiration to put out that fire, rebuild, start from scratch, restructure, refocus, respawn, and reset your life. Take care, everybody.